Hi everyone, welcome to Ethernal Realms and welcome to the month ahead astrology reading. Make sure you check your sun, moon and rising signs for a comprehensive view of the month. Additionally, I would recommend watching the tarot reading of the month ahead for your zodiac to get a different perspective of the month. While you will know the astrology in advance through this session, I will also send you a reminder when the astrological events are near. All you have to do is subscribe, hit the bell, and you will be notified as the events occur. I occasionally post behind the scenes meditation guidance, quizzes, and polls, which you can check for yourself in my community page, and it goes without saying that you will be notified when new videos are out, such as other zodiac readings and pick a card tarot readings too. If you prefer to cut down the guesswork about your month ahead, you can always connect with me via Etsy to get a personalized week by week, month ahead tarot reading paired with the general astrology. So enough about me, let's talk about you. So on the 1st of July, we have the sun meeting with sun meeting with Mercury in your sign in Cancer. And this can bring in some personal revelations about how you're presenting yourself to the world. There can be some new ideas that come in that you could like change up your hair or your appearance or how you are showing up as your personality, attitude, the dressing sense and all of that can come up here that you want to shift so you appear a different way, or you're trying to attract a different type of group of people or create a different type of first impression. On the 2nd of the month, we have Venus in Leo squaring with Uranus in Taurus, and that is going to square between your 2nd house of finances of Leo and your 11th house of Taurus, which is about your hopes and aspirations as well as your ideals in life and your friend network. So there can be some mismatches that you find but are very illuminating between the priorities that you are carrying on right now and the hopes that you wish to achieve, the aspirations that you have. So you might come across some finances or some financial advice or something like that, or some concepts about like self-esteem or positive thinking, passionate channeling or something like that can come up, which is going to positively shift your movement towards the hopes and aspirations. But it can be a little bit like tense over here. For example, you might have some friends who are calling for your attention, but you know you have to focus on something else that is creative for you. And while you're a very loyal friend, something else is taking a higher priority at this time. So there can be some disruption in the friendship, or there might be a bit of a misunderstanding. But because Mercury is not involved here, I don't see it like going very far. But there can be like feeling not confused, but like as if you just got to do this for yourself, you know, like there's not too much like apologetic or guilt type of situation going on. But again, you know, when someone's not right, then it's just not right. Squares bring about closures or disruptions in that way. But at the same time, there can be breakthroughs with regards to something that is more authentically true to the relationship, to you, to your self-expression as well. So breakthroughs in financial situations and the support that you get through your network and your friends can come up. Also, you might be changing the groups of people that you're associating yourself with, and that actually fills you up with more positivity and more joy and passion for life as well. On the 3rd, we have a full moon, and this is right opposite your zodiac in Capricorn. So the moon is there, but the sun is in your sign. So you're directly being affected by this. And full moons are about completion and pivot points as well. So if something we've been doing is not working, that is going to come up to light and we can change it and move ahead. And we still have that chance to manifest what we want to. But at the same time, if you have done everything right and this is just the end of the project, end of the line, you're getting the results and that's it, and then you're free to start a whole new chapter, cleanse your slate and whatnot. So this is especially related with how you connect with other people. What types of connections are you wanting, or what are you prioritizing in a long-term relationship, your one-to-one connections. If you have your own business, then your seventh house is about clients. So you might be idealizing or thinking about the types of clients you hope to achieve, the goals and the ambitions that you have regarding them. This can also mean that you're attracting or manifesting someone who is very steady, and meaning like steady in a long-term way, So more about legacy and about career, also making sure financially, materially, everybody is safe, not only themselves. Also someone who's perseverant, who makes their priorities clear, is very focused in that way and takes action, okay? And if you're already with someone who identifies as these particular characteristics, then it seems as though there is a connection over here that's forming. There might be like heightened synchronicities that happen with the two of you, and you might be going on a date night or something like that, or you're having some meaningful conversations that take your connection to another level. On the 9th, we have Mercury in Cancer trining with Neptune in Pisces, and Neptune is retrograde at this time, and Pisces is in your 9th house of long range travel, future vision, your belief system, and Mercury in Cancer is of course in your zodiac, which is about personality, how you show up, what you see reality as, what you consider life to be like, and all the good stuff basically, okay? So this means that you are aligning yourself and shifting, or actually shifting the way that you communicate or showcase yourself in the world so that it reflects the future that you're trying to create. So this is very high manifestation power as well. And because Neptune is retrograde, it is likely that you're receiving some practical insights or some reconsiderations regarding spirituality or religion modalities that you have been following, and you have more of a more realistic look to how it actually works, instead of the very magical, very transcendental type of descriptions that we regularly hear. This can also mean that intuition is accessed through you, and your experience is going to decide what you think of spirituality or religion or your belief systems in general. If you are studying abroad or you want to study abroad, this is the time that becomes very apparent. And if you're already studying, then this can mean that you're recognizing the things you have already learned in a very practical and a logical sense, which makes it very fulfilling to you. It's more relatable, it's more understandable as well. Because there is a trine aspect, this means that you have a harmonious relationship with any teachers or mentor figures that you identify with, or again, religious and spiritual symbols or modalities too. The reality that comes up is actually benefiting you, and it's helping you kind of understand yourself a lot better. The next day, on the 10th, we have quite a lot of things happening. Mercury in your sign is opposite Pluto in Capricorn, and Pluto is retrograde at this time. So this can mean that you gather your power, or rather you can see more changes happening in your partnership life, but they're going through internal changes instead of something that's very outward and focused on the entire world. So personal shifts, personal habits, these could be changing, but this also means that the way that you're relating with other people and the relationship dynamics you share with your one-to-one connections, that's also shifting and changing. Now remember, the previous day we got some new insights through that trine. So over here we might be communicating that with someone else, or we're just observing for ourselves as to how other people behave, or kind of seeing a new perspective to things basically. There can be some influential people as well in your environment that you may not know about yet, which you might find out a little bit later, but you're still having an open conversation with them, especially if you have clients. That's likely, or someone who's struggling with personal power or personal transformation. This means that you can give some advice that is especially soothing and constructive to others. And this can be anybody. Your closest friends can as well come to you for advice here. Because Mercury is in your sign, and Mercury is more talkative in the first house, your mindset, your communication is really showing up. Your compassion is being expressed very clearly, and others are able to notice this. The same day, we have Mars moving from Leo, your second house, yes, into your third house of Virgo, and of communication, short distance travel, thought patterns, mindsets, as well as your neighborhood and local community. And the moment it enters, not exactly the moment, but as it enters Virgo, it trines with the North Node in Taurus. And Taurus is in your 11th house. So we're talking about doing something uncomfortable, like making a new friend or connecting with a different community or trying to learn something else, which is going to move you closer to your ideals in life. That is going to be harmoniously blessed because of Mars's movement. So your mind is clear. It's able to think and plan ahead. You might be feeling more social at this time. Wherever Mars goes, action and activity follows. There are many developments that happen. We might be running back and forth in that particular area, getting things done, organizing your thoughts, writing down your to-do lists, and just getting everything streamlined is very possible with this. And because you're taking these small little methodical steps, it puts you in a very clear line, and creates a clear plan of action as well to achieve all of those big picture goals that you have for yourself. All right, now the next day on the 11th, we have Mercury moving into Leo, and it squares with the North Node in Taurus. And this aspect with the North Node is going to be the last one while the North Node is in Taurus, because the next day the point moves into Aries. So first of all, let's talk about Mercury in Leo. This is going to be about speaking your truth, speaking very confidently and passionately as well. But this is more so about making your priorities known, okay? Now, you are going to do this either in writing, or you are going to make it explicitly clear, maybe to children or maybe to your loved ones as well, that these are your expectations, this is what you're looking for, and you're being truthful like that with yourself too, so that you're promising yourself to follow through on the things that are very near and dear to your heart. There is a sense of warmth that is coming in here too, so you're prioritizing warm people, positive outlook people, and there is a healthy dose of competition as well, so healthy challenges for yourself, and also with the support of people that you love and care about, that can come up here, which creates a positive breakthrough between, again, wherever you feel stuck and where you actually want to be headed. Okay. Now, if you have some difficult relationships happening with any of your friends, this can mean that you're having a tough conversation that might feel a little bit challenging, but you are being more assertive at this time. So depending on who you're dealing with, this can be a make or break situation, because once again, this is the last aspect that North Node in Taurus is forming. So this chapter is going to close either through separation or through acceptance and breakthrough. Okay, the next day we have the North Node moving into Aries, like I mentioned, and this is going to stay here for the coming 1.5 years. It's a pretty long transit, and it brings into focus your 10th house and 4th house, and this is a very important axis. The 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th, these are very pivotal parts of our lives, ourselves, our family, our relationships, and our careers. These are the things that primarily everybody is concerned about, right? So Aries North Node means that focusing on your goals, ambitions, and taking initiative in that way, and being assertive and courageous in your pursuit, is going to bring in a lot of growth, expansion, and harmony into your life. The South Node is Libra in your 4th house. Now, this is where you're actually very comfortable, because the South Node is here, and also Cancer naturally sits in the 4th house. So the thing is, with the South Node, something has to be cleansed or released or surrendered, okay? Because there is some cycle about it that we have learned a lot, and now we need to focus on the sign that's right opposite in order to balance out whatever it is that we know about our Libra side of our chart. For example, if you are the peacemaker in the family and you make sure that everybody gets along, you might have felt that you are being sacrificed in that process, or you're not able to follow through with your individual goals and ambitions because you're always trying to make everything flow well for other people. You care so much about others. So North Node in Aries is going to make it very clear and apparent that even you are important, because you are, right? And because it's in the 10th house, it's really showing up out loud and clear. And it does not mean that if you move towards the North Node, you're going to leave your family and that you're not going to care about them anymore. That's not the point. Unless there is something toxic going on, there is going to be no release, okay? And no release as in no ending of relationships, releasing of toxic patterns and habits, any ancestral wounds or karmic situations that have been ongoing unconsciously or consciously, that is going to be purged in this era for you. The time that you spend following your career ambitions and focusing on your professional life, that is going to be heightened. Meanwhile, you get support and you get harmony and peace from your family members. So because you are helping other people out, let others help you in this time. That's basically the lesson you got to learn in this particular year and a half. Big stuff. But wherever the North Node is, if you follow that, you find a lot of fulfillment and balance in life. And all of the aspects that I'm talking about here, difficult or not, they switch their vibration the moment you move towards the North Node. And I'm saying that through like personal experience, that I've noticed this. I don't know if other, astrologers ever talk about that. I've not heard it. So if you have, great. But, from what I've noticed, it really does switch it. So if someone says that, oh, this is a very stressful time, or a stressful aspect and everything can go to go whole chaotic, it doesn't actually move to that direction. Instead, it moves towards the breakthrough option or the illumination option because our perspective changes, right? Okay. On the 17th, we have a new moon in your sign. This is about a rebirth, okay? A rebirth is happening in your zodiac, which means the way you see the world is going to be shifting in some way. The way you attach to reality as well is going to be shifted in some way. And that means that the type of people you're attracting are also changing. Or revelations or answers that are coming in at this time that can provide some new information, but also comforting information that brings everyone, all your relationships, and even yourself into more balance and brings more peace, basically. The same day, though, we have a square between Mercury in Leo with Jupiter in Taurus. There can be overspending, overpromising, or overgiving in this way because Leo is your financial house and it can be quite extravagant. So making big promises for the future, making big claims that can happen because it's a new moon phase as well. It's kind of that beginner or less experienced energy, and it feels as though you can take on the world. And while that motivation is admirable, take it forward for sure, but at the same time, it's important to temper it with the practicality. Luckily, Jupiter in Taurus can bring that vibration as well, where it's like, okay, very nice, but we're going to make small little changes. We're not going to turn everything upside down. Okay, no flipping everything. We're going to take it one step at a time, and it is slowly going to expand before we know it. On the 20th, we have the sun in your zodiac trining with Neptune in Pisces, which is retrograde in the 9th house. So again, personal expansion, understanding your belief systems, moving towards your future visions. All of this is really blessed. The ideas that you have, the person you're becoming, that is making your manifestations come closer and closer to you. And it's as though you can almost feel it, you can almost see it and sense it, because it might be becoming more tangible as well. Or because Neptune is retrograde, you're changing your tactics and you feel better about the new techniques or the new belief systems or spiritual modalities you might be trying out at this time. The same day, we have an opposition between Mars in Virgo in your 3rd house with Saturn in Pisces in your 9th house, and Saturn is retrograde, so there can be some restructuring of how you travel abroad or what your belief systems are, what have you held on to very deeply, and how can we shift those things and rebalance them, moderate those situations, so that we're also able to translate the more esoteric subjects into something more practicable. Okay, how does the beliefs we have translate into our everyday mindset? How do you communicate to yourself, to others, and to spirit? How are you organizing your space? How do you relate with your local community? And how do you relate with the global community? There's going to be some rebalancing happening here, okay? Now, travel plans as well. Like, for example, if you have always taken flights, this might be a time you're like, let me try something else. Or you might be compelled to try a different way of traveling, and it might be quite okay with you, or that gives you a new insight. Like, okay, I could do this fine. Something like that. But you just never had to try it until this point. On the 22nd, we have the sun in your zodiac, right opposite Pluto in Capricorn, and Pluto is retrograde. So this is bringing up topics of who you are now and what types of people you're looking for now. Okay, there are some changes happening here. Whenever we talk about you being in the forefront of a particular month, it's a lot of the time it's Cancer season, your season. So a lot of personal shifts and growth happen around this time, right? So this is one of those phenomena, basically. The same day, we have Sun in Cancer squaring with the North Node in Aries, which is newly moved into Aries, like we talked about. And this one indicates where is there a mismatch between who you are now and what your goals and ambitions are. Where are you wanting to go? How can you make that happen? What is blocking you at this time? Where can there be some breakthroughs and some leeways? Where can there be some adjustments and actions needing to be taken? All of that will come up, and we'll then, deal with it slowly. You got to be patient with yourself when we talk about the North Node, right? It's a long transit. So bits and pieces, puzzle pieces are going to come up. So give yourself the room and give yourself the patience and love, affection, and care, that you got this, okay? You got this. Be patient. It just takes a little bit of time with the North Node. But whatever results you do see, whatever promises you do make, you're likely to keep them, okay? All right, on the 23rd, the zodiac season changes. We have the Sun moving into Leo. Your second house is now brought into focus, which is about your priorities, your material possessions, how you relate with your value system as well. What do you spend on? How do you earn your finances? And how protective are you of those as well? And the same day, we have Venus in Leo going retrograde. So there can be reconsiderations regarding what is valuable to you. Okay, there can even be some expenditures which are like pending and that needs to be paid out at this time. Or it is quite the opposite. You are owed money and that is going to come into you. And that gives you a little bit extra room to explore and see what you could do with the new finances that are coming in. It is, of course, recommended when Venus is retrograde to not make any big purchases because you might not like what you get out of it. Like it might seem like something else online or in person, but then the final product that you get might be a little bit different from what you were expecting. And then it's just disappointing if you're having to wait for a long time or you're paying a lot of money, right? So just be watchful of that. Maybe try to get samples of things or kind of have a trial run of, seminars or courses or whatever it is that you want to be taking before you make a final decision. But in many cases, it does also give you a new perspective on what has been going on. So if you are in a poverty mindset, for example, this can illuminate where exactly you stop yourself. Venus is a beneficial planet, direct or retrograde, but while in retrograde, it takes on a slower, more thoughtful approach towards, I want affection. How can I get more of that? Let me really think about it. That type of topic here. And children bring your priority. If that's the case, then you might be looking at what exactly you enjoy about children or your inner child. Maybe you're looking into getting involved into your hobbies a little bit more and prioritizing that, understanding your form of self-expression and creativity as well. So this can give you a very nice space to go inwards and explore all of these topics. The same day, we have Mercury in Leo squaring with Uranus in Taurus. So once again, what is blocking you? What is it exactly about the mindset or the words that you say? Because sometimes without even realizing, we say things that actually put us into that negative mind space, like, oh, as if I could afford that, things like that. Like it's just a joke in that moment, but then if you say it enough, it kind of becomes a mindset, right? And it also gives off a certain impression. And that can have a mirroring effect if we're projecting out in the world that we don't have enough or that we can't afford the things that we, want or desire or whatever the case is. Then it can be perceived that, okay, so they can't. So why should I offer the, opportunity? Why should I offer them new avenues if they are staying in a different mindset? Of course, these are very subconscious, but I'm mentioning mindset because Uranus is the planet of the higher mind and epiphanies come from there. Your friend might have some, quirky solution as to how you can get out of situations or sticky situations, stagnant situations as well, and help you move forward, reinvent yourself in some way too, if that's something you want. And also Mercury is involved, which is the planet of communication and the conscious mind. So I think put two and two together, there's nice breakthroughs that can come up under the light of the sun in Leo. Okay, 27th, we have Mercury meeting with Venus, who is retrograde in the sign of Leo. And this means that you are getting some fresh new insights over here already. Some lessons that Venus is trying to teach is becoming more conscious and implementable. On the 28th, we have Mercury in Leo trining with Uranus. Why did I say Uranus? I mean North Node. I'm so used to saying Uranus in Taurus that I just... Anyway, so Mercury in Leo is trining with the North Node in Aries. So it's a fire trine, which means there's a lot of ambition and passion and initiation as well that's happening here. Lots of motivation and inspiration can be surrounding you as well. People encouraging you, and you are also prioritizing your goals, and you're feeling really good about yourself on this particular day. I think you're very proud of how far you have come and how far you've grown this whole month. And even now, there's like new shifts and changes which are taking you forward, your personality even forward. And yeah, this is just a nice time. The same day we have Mercury moving away from Leo into Virgo, so your focus again is shifting towards a more analytical approach, and you're planning well, you are organizing things, making sure that you are not taking on too much than you can handle, making time for what you are actually wanting to achieve as well. Okay, so good stuff. And the analytical observant approach can make you have very keen insights, especially if you work in a team. This gives off the impression that you really know your stuff, you've researched things, and that you're a very knowledgeable person, and you might be more inquired about, right? Other people might want to talk to you and get your guidance or your opinions on things. So that's what I have for you. Thank you for being here. I really hope you enjoyed and that the messages help you out throughout the month. Stay tuned for the tarot reading for your zodiac sign as well. I will be uploading them soon. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified whenever that's up. And if you enjoyed the reading, please do like and comment your thoughts if you have any. It will be really lovely to hear back from you, and it really helps the channel grow as well. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.